Our relationship with BSH started in January 2016, where we invited them to tender for the swaddling coat sorter, and they responded very quickly, and within a month, in fact, we'd started to agree what the sorter would look like and what we needed it to do. We placed the order with BSH in March. The sorter began to be built in July. They handed it over to Clipper September week 1. We spent a fortnight training and testing the sorter and went live September week 3. BSH did a sterling job actually, because as fast as they were building sections of the sorter, we were building a mezzanine floor above them. I think the obvious benefit of the sorter, especially in this industry, is the ability to guarantee next day delivery. Typically, we'll handle 3,000 to 4,000 parcels a night on the sorter. It's capable of doing significantly more, and at peak, Black Friday for example, it'll do 20,000 to 25,000 parcels. Right from the outset, BSH were part of the team, and they were a great player in that team. From the original specification, which they contributed to and helped us refine, right through to the engineering works. And I must say, Stephen Pereton, the account manager, has made a huge contribution to what we've got here in Swaddling Coat.
Basically, we are a food manufacturing company. We are packing recipe boxes that are delivered next day to the customers. You just order online, we supply all the ingredients to you and you cook it with your family and friends. We just expanded and we moved into the new warehouse. That is why we felt the need that the next step is to bring someone with expertise in improvement. This is how we we get in contact with BS Handling and we ask them to bring us a faster and more reliable packing solution. Being the first time we worked with BS Handling, we didn't know what to expect. So we were a bit in doubt if they're going to be able to deliver what we want and how we want. But this thought, disappeared after a few meetings with them because we saw exactly that they are going to deliver what's best for us, not what's best for them. Talking about the pick-to-light system that we have implemented by BS Handling, it's a simple concept. However, it's very efficient. Even though we have experienced staff and they've been doing this for years, our error rate was still high because, we are talking about people and people are getting tired. So the main thing that the line does, it's scanning each single box and it's identifying the only and the right place that the box needs to go for the operator to pack. It's eliminating the bottlenecks, which clearly it's improving the speed. And the main thing it's doing, from the main conveyor, the box is being transferred to one of the 6 packing stations where the operator is going to be visually signalized on what slot and what amount of the kraft or the protein he needs to insert in the box. Once he is confident that he added the right items, he's going to then follow a double confirmation push button and the box goes back into the main conveyor. Error rate have dropped and our operators are confident that they don't need to check twice. And on top of that, to be even more confident, at the end of the line we have a QC station. So randomly the system, it's sending boxes to the QC station where our operators are triple checking them. So we are using the line for 2 months already, and even though our staff is still learning the way in, we experienced already a 30% increase on the throughput. After analyzing the data, we strongly believe we have realistic chances to reach 50% increase. In numbers, that would mean around 750 boxes an hour throughput. In terms of savings that the new line brought to us, during a year, it's going to become much more than the cost of the line, which at this level of production, this is an exceptional result. Besides the cost itself, that we're going to have a payback in less than a year, the cost of errors that we are avoiding, that's going to be added on top of that. So we can talk at least £100,000 more a year just by eliminating the errors. Yes, BS Handler delivered over our expectation. They know what they're doing. They are not, an ordinary company that just come, sell a product and go. So they showed us and teach us things that we weren't able to discover for ourselves. They came with ideas that might help us without us asking for them. I think that makes a difference when you want to build a long-term partnership, and that's what we have with BS Handling.
It was late 2015 where we identified the need for additional sortation capacity. So we went out to a bunch of suppliers that we work with and that we know, and a lot of them turned it down just simply because we were talking in November, December 2015 and we wanted it ready for September, October 2016. So less than 12 months lead time, and we hadn't even placed an order yet and hadn't even done a design. It was just initial conversations. So a lot of them said absolutely not, we can't meet those timescales, so we had to discount them from the tender. The BS Handling guys said, yeah, no problem, we can do it. So we thought, wow, okay, well, we need to definitely explore this with you guys, and we went through all of the detail with them. And from that initial conversation in November, a design process and order in March, they had the sorter live by Black Friday, 25th of November 2016. Right from the start, they were very customer focused, so they took the time to understand from our point of view what we wanted from the solution. So we spent a lot of time designing it, and they were quite creative in the way that they worked out the solution. So we had some very key principles and requirements. So coming down from pack, the conveyors that are bringing parcels at the time were feeding into the original sorter, and we wanted to make sure that any parcel from any pack desk could go to either of the conveyors. So it wasn't a case of just installing a second sorter. They had to put in a solution that diverted parcels across each of the sorters based on a set of rules that we came up with and in our own warehouse management system. So we had a whole load of fun trying to find a way of diverting parcels, which is so varied in terms of size, and also some are boxes, some are bags, and the grip on the bags isn't as good, so you have to get something that really does work. In the design process, they were very clear and they painted a picture of what it would look like, so there were no surprises at the end. But as we went through, yes, things changed. We had things that we hadn't thought of that we wanted to add in, and the guys were very receptive to ideas that would make the overall solution better. You know, there's two ways you can play that. You can either be quite strict about what the original contract was for and what the original kind of spec was for, but things change, people come up with new ideas of doing things better. So through the process of both projects, as we came up with new ideas, we were able to discuss them with BS Handling and be collaborative on it. And they didn't make you feel uncomfortable about asking for changes. They didn't make you feel like this was going to be an opportunity for them to ratchet the price upon you. They took it in their stride and said, look, let's come up with something that works. Because ultimately, what the guys want is a happy customer at the end of the day. And that's what I like about them, is that when I talk to them, I can feel they genuinely care about, am I happy with the end result or not?
There was probably 3 or 4 key points really. They understood the brief, they'd implemented it somewhere before, so it wasn't the first time they were doing it. There was some slight differences, but they understood the brief. They had a technology partner in IDC that could help us deliver a warehouse management system and a warehouse control system as well. So they had a partner that could bring the whole thing together and the whole thing to life. And they basically, the key thing for me was out of the 12 that responded was they came up with an end-to-end solution from inbound to put away to picking, packing, outbound. They had a complete end-to-end solution through the warehouse. The objective was, number one, move the existing client out of their congested warehouse today, bring in some technology to speed that process up, make it more efficient. Number two was to create additional space for new business, because we were turning customers away 3 years ago, which is not what you want to do. So we've created 250,000 square foot of warehousing space. We've created some very narrow aisle racking solution for our pallet operations for new customers, and we've created a space in the middle now where we're looking at further automation to attract even more clients to the building. The major benefits are, I said there's 3. They've brought together a structure from start to finish, the warehouse processes. We've created process synergies so that we've got 2 or 3 customers using exactly the same processes, which the third one is they've given us economies of scale where we can push more throughput through and spread the workload. It provides what is taking a semi-automated solution, which gives them a standard solution. They have visibility of their stock, their order processing as it's going through the warehouse, and that fundamentally they're the key things really. They want to know where their orders are we meeting the targets, is everything being processed in a timely manner, and that's the real key benefits to the customers. BS Handling, I believe, did exceptionally well throughout the project. What they really brought to the party was planning, structure, flexibility. We had a weekly meeting, and they were always knew what was going to happen in the next month, what they needed from us, what they needed from other of our partners. They delivered a good job.
We saw significant sales increase back in 2020. That really expedited our network development plans and meant that we had to start up our 4th fulfilment centre here in a very, very tight timeline. So we started a very rigorous tender process back in October of 2020 to identify suppliers that could not only deliver competitive and high quality solutions, but also work very much with ASOS in collaboration. BS Handling were very, very flexible from day one. They were able to very much work with us both in regard to design changes and also changes in requirements generally. They really were a very responsive and supportive supplier who demonstrated a can-do attitude from the outset. The timelines that we had to achieve the Lichfield startup were very, very tight, and it was important that we worked with suppliers that we could trust, and we knew that whatever we asked and whatever we needed of BS Handling, that those guys would go above and beyond to make sure that ASOS received not only a really high quality end product, but that we also work in a really collaborative way to get there. So it's not just the end result, it's the journey as well. Rob, Stephen and the team, we look at them as being more than a supplier, and they are definitely part of what we do on a day-to-day basis.